Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with sousaphone player Xan Perkins and trumpeter Justin Crossman of the Kansas City-based jazz collective Back Alley Brass Band. They opened up about their new 2022 CD that just hit the web and the streets. This New Orleans-style brass band is becoming one of the most sought-after groups in the KC area. These high-energy players have a powerful sound that are making their way around, and they will be coming to a venue near you and the upcoming Boulevardia Festival. There's a lot of stories, a lot of ground to cover. Enjoy this interview.
Gentlemen, thank you for taking a minute out for the show today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
So when I caught wind of the brand new album, I immediately reached out, wanted to know what was, I just kind of wanted to know the history of the band and what you guys are up to. So I think the first thing before we actually get into the brand new album is that it's coming out during the tail end of this pandemic. There's more chances to perform live and promote this album. How collectively does this feel to have this album out right now?
Well, I don't know about Xan, but I mean, when me and a couple guys started this group a couple years back, we never really thought we would ever get to this. We just kind of wanted to gig around a little bit, see what happened, and then it just kind of exploded. The moment we put out the album, we knew we had something that, something really special and really exciting for the people of Kansas City. I'm completely stoked about, the product we put out.
Just to echo that, I mean, yeah, I think this album is kind of just a celebration of kind of what we've been able to do here in Kansas City and also what our voice is going to be moving forward. It's been really exciting for somebody who hasn't been in the group, since its beginning. It's really great to put this album out and, feel good about it.
So there's 9 members total in the band, correct?
Yeah, and then we have a sound guy. Sorry, I was counting up in my head. So we have eight horns, and then one drummer in the back, and then one sound guy who does our sound for most of our gigs unless sound is provided.
That's a big outfit of people, lots of things that hold this together. So my question, I guess before I get to the actual band and how all of this began was, how did this album come about? I know, bands get together, they gig, they do their thing, and sometimes albums don't happen for a while. How did all of this kind of come together?
I think we remember talking about needing to have an album out at least a year ago. We've been talking about ways that we can start really putting ourselves out there, have something solid to hand to, anybody who wants to take a gig with us. We knew that we needed to have an album at some point. We just didn't know what we wanted to put on it. And honestly, it was kind of because of Xan here that we finally decided that we were going to get it done. Xan coming in really amped up our ability and our, our energy level and the way we sound. And we were like, we need to capture this guy on record. We need to make sure we have a record with him.
So let's talk about kind of now that it's out and folks have the chance to listen to it, what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Like I said before, this album is kind of just a celebration of what we've been through and what we project to do. So for me, as a rhythm player, right? I mean, I'm a sousaphone player, and I want people to groove with the music. I want people to, dance to themselves. I want it to be an album that they feel comfortable, listening to at work, and it puts them in a better mood. It kind of heightens their spirits and kind of lets them have a good day. I think the music that we put out and kind of our vision moving forward is we are like a party band. I mean, we are a band that brings the party with us, and we excite people. And me coming into the group, I'm a high energy guy, and so I with my history with marching band and all that kind of stuff, it's all about entertainment and all about providing an experience for our listener, whether it be digitally, over that media or medium, or over at a live concert. People are there for an experience. So that's what I hope that they get from our album.
You are a New Orleans flavored band in Kansas City. And my question is, being a part of such a legacy in Kansas City with the sound, I mean, both of the cities are cultural hubs for jazz. How does it feel to have both of those worlds kind of come together here in this particular scenario?
So when me and my buddies from college got the band started, we were very interested in making sure that we kept to the traditions of New Orleans and include our influences in other brass bands that we were excited to listen to, as well as the influence of Kansas City jazz, knowing that Kansas City used to be the hub, one of the cultural hubs of jazz, and how to marry the two worlds together. As I kind of want our group to be known as like a little bit of New Orleans and Kansas City, like a little flavor, but still like Kansas City roots. And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job on accomplishing that, especially considering how much we definitely listen to the traditions and styles and culture of New Orleans, trying to make sure that we're paying respect to that and also showing off Kansas City pride as well, because of all of the rich culture and history and jazz that we have here.
Tell me how did all of this come together? How long have you guys been together, and how did all of this gel and the chemistry get to where you all are at right now?
So the band started with a breakfast at Cracker Barrel in Olathe, Kansas. A couple of my buddies that I went to Pittsburgh State University with said, hey, we need to have breakfast and talk about this idea, because we kind of molded around since we graduated. And I'd been playing in a couple big bands in the area, learning and meeting new people, kind of gaining a network of great musicians. After that breakfast, we knew we had to make it happen, so I started talking to as many of my contacts that I thought would be good fit. And the band has definitely evolved since its inception. Xan is our third tuba player. We've had some other evolution as far as personnel is concerned. We traded out a bass bone player for another bass bone player in the area, that kind of thing, just because sometimes people decide to leave. But, we've been together since, I believe, 2018 is when we started rehearsing and gigging. So just right before, I guess, the pandemic hit us.
I joined at in 2020, as a friend of Justin's. We had become coworkers, at the time, and then he reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to play in my group? And I said, yeah, of course. I was just excited to play sousaphone again and really dive into, the New Orleans brass band tradition,
Obviously, there's been some players that have come in and out of the band, but it sounds like the nucleus has been remained relatively consistent. So my question is, with a big outfit like this, what's the key to keeping everything together? What is the key to making sure there's a cohesive, you're making music, you're getting together, things are kind of like a well-oiled machine?
I think that it ultimately stems from the amount of fun and enjoyment we have playing together and how fun the music is. I think there are business things on in a part of a group like this, and there's personnel things. People clash, people have differing opinions, all that stuff. But I think the core centering of groups is just the enjoyment of playing music and being with each other, having fellowship, that kind of thing, and really being a party wherever we go. To me, that's what New Orleans music is all about. Is about pulling cultures together and sharing and enjoying music together.
Piggyback just a little bit. It's all about the fun, and it's all the fact that we have a similar vision for the group. We all have input and everything in directions and new ideas, but at the end of the day, we're all people playing on a piece of pipe, on some form of bended metal tubing, and we realize that we can make people dance with it, and that's, like Xan said, at the end of the day, we're here to make people to shake their butt. So, that's what brings the enjoyment, at least from me.
What's the greatest part about being involved with the Kansas City jazz scene, which is a pretty good, thriving scene?
It's recognizing that there are giants in Kansas City. At any given time, like, for example, the album release party, we had Trevor Turla, who's such an amazing performer, open for us, and he got to sit in with the group and jam on a couple songs, and we grabbed Kadesh Flow also on a couple tunes. Adam Bender's dad, Carl, was there, who's also a Kansas City jazz player in the area. And so it's knowing that at any given time you can gravitate to or pull in any great musician and play with them, and it's, you know, we're all there to make music and have fun in the moment. And then they tell their friends, hey, this group is really cool. And then we tell our friends and our fans, hey, you should go see Trevor's group or whatever. And, you know, wherever that leads, you know, it's creating this network of fans that are interested in going to so many different people's gigs and concerts and things of that nature. At least that's what it is for me. I think it's really cool that we get to be a part of that.
Speaking of Kansas City as a city, what do you like the best about Kansas City?
That's a tough question.
Yeah. So if you were to ask Tom as a joke, it's the barbecue, and I kind of, in a lot of aspects, I kind of agree. Just because in the same instance that the music brings people together, the Kansas City barbecue tradition does the same thing. It's there to bring people together. I like the community, I think, is what it boils down to. Is Kansas City, Missouri, and the Kansas City metro area has such a great sense of community and community pride, and they're there to, you know, pump up anybody that is doing something cool, and anybody can truly make something happen because there's such a network already readily available to be tapped into, and I think that's one of the greatest things about KC.
Yeah, I think my initial response was going to be food, just the food here. But yeah, I really do. I think it's the food, and I think it's just the pride in Kansas City, and you know, people here love where they live. They love their community, and you know, it's really special. And yeah, we get to be a Kansas City group, and you know, there's a lot of pride with that. It's really a blessing to be a part of such a great community of musicians and brothers, you know, in the group. Yeah, it's pretty great.
So what would you cite as influences for your sound and how you approach the stage and your music?
Well, before Justin says it, I'll let you in. I think Youngblood Brass Band is probably you know, one of the central kind of figures in our, you know, search for sound. You know, Soul Rebels and Rebirth down in New Orleans, and you know, like for me as a sousaphone player, I have always just I love Nat McIntosh, the sousaphone player and band leader of Youngblood. He's just been kind of a you know, the GOAT to me. You know, he's not only a great player, but you know, he's a really great writer and just all around musician, and you know, the way he leads that band, you know, and the way that he plays is just it's really infectious, you know, to listen to. So that, you know, in my mind, I always like, how would Nat sound? Like, what would Nat do in this situation? What, you know, what would yeah. And maybe that makes me, you know, kind of one-sided, but you know, and all the other bands as well, you know, that's where all the culture, that's where I learned culture from. You know, as a Midwest kid, I have not lived in that culture in New Orleans, and I haven't, you know, been around that as much, but the music brings me to that place. You know, like, I don't have to live there to really, you know, understand. Well, maybe I won't really ever understand until I'm there, but you know, I can relate. I can feel the culture. I can hear it. You know,
there's a song that Youngblood does that we really love, is Crescent City, and it's just a song talking about how New Orleans is the place to be. Our heart belongs in New Orleans, that kind of stuff. And I feel like that echoes entirely like what I mean. Absolutely, Youngblood, and they're out of Madison, Wisconsin, I think, and Soul Rebels out of New Orleans, and Rebirth. There's so many great brass bands out of that area, and then it's birthed, you know, there's so many different ones. There's Lucky Chops in New York, and
of course, Trauma Shorty. We like
and Trauma Shorty.
I didn't say Trauma Shorty.
Yeah, it's really, it's just about how this music just immediately teleports you to a place you may not have ever been, if it's performed well with the honor and reverence it deserves, like, absolutely. Like, I can't wait until our group goes to New Orleans just to explore more about the culture, be there, meet these cats, like, for real. That's exactly what we're looking for as far as inspiration is concerned.
So as the world wakes up and live gigs start happening more, what are you hoping we all realize about the power of live music as we get back to it?
I think live music is the experience, and I'm not here to diminish, listening to music, on your own, through a digital medium or anything, because we all do it, right? I mean, but there's enjoyment in that. There's certain moments that, you will always remember, oh, this is the first time I listened to this song in my car, whatever. But I really do think live music is all about the experience. It's a group, it's a shared experience, There's a bonding that happens when you go to a show and your friends are there with you, or people that you've never met that end up becoming friends by the end of the show. It's like live music is such a special thing, music never happens the same twice, so especially in New Orleans brass band traditions, it's a unique experience every time. So I'm really excited that, things are starting to wake up, and, people are yearning to go experience those experiences again. And that's what I'm really excited about.
We said everything I was going to say about that.
Cool. Right on. So when everybody catches you live, they see you in a certain light. You're on stage, you're doing your thing, but you're all unique individuals doing your thing. What would you want to say to the crowd that might wonder, who really is this band? Who are these guys? What is it that they may not realize about who you all are as an outfit?
We're just a bunch of numbskulls who just party.
Nice.
We just like playing brass music, we have a party.
I mean, one of our taglines on almost every gig we say is we'll play your birthday party, your bar mitzvah, your bat mitzvah, your wedding, funeral, what have you. We're there to give you a great time, regardless of what it is you want to book us for. We're here for a good time, I guess, is the bottom line.
So let's get down to the good business here. Tell everybody where they can pick up the album and anything related to live shows, merchandise, whatever you have that will help fuel your future, your monetary, financial future to keep you going.
So go to our Facebook page, Back Alley Brass Band, and our trombone / business manager guy, Matt Fillingham, great dude. He keeps all of us on top of it all, and he's the guy. But he runs that Facebook page, and he's got all the listings for where you can buy our album, and you can listen to it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. I'm forgetting one more, I think. Yeah, the Bandcamp. Yeah, so all that
cool
stuff is found on our Facebook page.
Cool. Right on. Gentlemen, thank you for opening up. Good luck with everything. I look forward to seeing you guys live as the world wakes up.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in New Orleans, Kansas City, and spots all over the globe, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to both Xan and Justin for their time, music, and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.